beneath the blood moon every October in the quiet mountain town of Ashpines. The wind whistled through the trees like a warning. They say the forest comes alive when the moon turns red, something that happens only once every century, and whatever dares to enter those woods, well, it doesn't always come back the same. But to 17-year-old Rowan Blake, legends were just stories. Bedtime tales to keep kids from wandering too far. At least, that's what she thought. Until she met him. The boy with a storm in his eyes. It all started during the last week of October, right when the town's fall carnival rolled in. It was the usual scene lights, music, a nice little distraction from Ashpine's sleepy routine. Rowan never cared much for fairs. Too many people, too much noise. But her best friend Jada dragged her along, swearing this year would be different. And you know what? She was right. There at the edge of the Ferris wheel, a boy leaned against a ticket booth. He had this shadowed jaw, dark tousled hair, and a worn leather jacket that looked like it belonged to another decade entirely. His name was Kai, and the moment Rowan looked into his eyes, she saw something ancient, something broken, and yet something that felt like it already knew her. They ended up talking for hours, slipping away from the fair and into the whispering trees. His voice was soft, almost sad. He knew things about the town, things Rowan had only heard in the old stories her grandmother used to tell by the fireplace. He spoke of the forest, of curses, of monsters hiding beneath human skin. Rowan just laughed it off, until the howls started. Then a scream shattered the night they ran, branches clawing at their clothes, the moonlight trembling above them. When they reached a clearing near the lake, they saw it. A hulking, twisted creature hunched over a deer carcass, its mouth soaked in red. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't human. It was something born of nightmares and old magic. And then Kai stepped forward. His body trembled, his spine arching in a way that just wasn't natural. Before Rowan could even scream, his skin shimmered, and he transformed. He became something else. Not like the creature, he was more controlled, more beautiful, but still terrifying. A werewolf. He fought the monster under the blood moon. It was a blur of claws, teeth, and snarls. Rowan was frozen. She couldn't look away. When it was over, Kai staggered toward her, his eyes burning a brilliant silver. "I told you," he whispered, his voice strained. "This town has secrets." The next morning, Rohan woke up in her bed, half convinced it was all a dream. But the claw marks on her jacket were real. So was the ancient leather journal Kai had slipped into her bag. It was filled with strange sketches, maps, and warnings written in languages she didn't recognize. Ashpines wasn't just a sleepy town. It was a prison, one built to keep monsters in and something far worse out. The blood moon had risen, and the ancient barrier protecting the town was weakening. Kai, cursed with a werewolf's soul, had returned to stop it from falling completely. But Rohan should have run. She should have packed her bags and left it all to him, but she didn't. Instead, she opened the journal. She started asking questions. She followed Kai deep into the heart of the woods, into the darkness, to the ruins of an old church where shadows slithered and whispers crawled from beneath the stones. And somewhere between the danger and the darkness, she fell in love. Not the easy kind of love, the kind that hurts, the kind that pulls you closer right when you should be running away. Kai was cursed, yes, but not just with teeth and claws. His heart was cursed, too. Anyone he loved was doomed to die under the blood moon, fated to be taken by the ancient hunger that once ruled these woods. His last love, Elsie, hadn't made it. The forest, he said, still remembered her screams. So when Kai pushed Rowan away, telling her to leave for her own good, she did the exact opposite. She kissed him. "You're not a monster," she told him. And in her voice, for the first time in a long time, he found something stronger than the curse. He found hope. They trained together, hunting for clues in the town's buried history. They faced down old spirits and escaped death more times than they could count. Rowan discovered she had a connection to the forest. To it was in her bloodline. Her grandmother had been a warden of the pines, one of the last protectors before the barrier weakened. And now it was Rowan's turn to finish what her family had started. On Halloween night, the blood moon rose to its peak. The town celebrated its carnival, completely unaware of the storm building at its edge. Beneath the laughter and the lights, the ground itself seemed to pulse. Something ancient was stirring. The creature from the woods wasn't the only one that had escaped. The real monster the devourer had awakened, and it wanted Kai. It wanted his soul, his power, and his love. To stop it, Rowan and Kai had to return to the church ruins and seal the gate with blood, love, and fire. But the devourer was waiting. It had claws made of shadow and a voice that sounded like every fear Rowan had ever known. They fought together. Rowan wielded her grandmother's silver blade, carving runes into the altar as Kai battled the beast. It nearly killed him. It nearly tore his heart out. But in the final moment, Rowan took his hand, kissed him one last time, and whispered the words Sheedy found in the journal. "Love is the oldest magic." A brilliant light exploded from their joined hands, searing the sky. The devourer screamed. The forest roared, and then silence. When Rowan woke, Kai was gone. For weeks, she searched for answers, for signs, for any shred of hope. The town remembered nothing, not the monsters, not the blood moon. To them, it was just another Halloween. But Rowan remembered everything. Then, one night, as the first snow of winter began to fall, she found a letter on her windowsill. It was scrawled in Kai's handwriting. "The curse broke, but I'm still healing. I'll come back to you, Rowan, because you're not my curse, you're my cure. Wait for me." And so she does. Every full moon, she walks to the edge of the forest, and somewhere deep within the trees, a pair of silver eyes watches back, still in love, still fighting, still theirs. Thanks so much for watching. If you loved this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. See you next time.